broadcasting from the moon. Happy 2025.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. And we're live here. Oh, I lost my voice there. We're live for the first time in 2025. Welcome back to Heavy Muscle Radio. It is our 16th year. We're going into our 16th year of filming. And I am here with, as always, with the technician, Chris Aceto, back from Miami. It's a cold Maine, although we're going to be getting some seriously cold weather here in Florida. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'm afraid your friend on Venetian Island, that West Washington, may die from the cold climate. I heard you're gonna get some cold weather.
Speaking of cold weather, I've been swimming at night, I actually had to move it to during the day now because it's so cold at night here that and the pool has been freezing cold because the heater wasn't working in the pool. So I've been swimming in like 65-degree water, which is kind of like the cold plunge. You know how people do the cryo cold plunge? I swim in the cold. I don't go in there for a minute. I swim 40 laps in the cold. And I have to put I have my wetsuit on. I've talked about this before. And so I've been doing that. And I'm a little nervous, though, about this. I hear it's going to go down to the 20s here in Florida, which means we never get that cold here. Never.
I'll give you some insight into the cold plunge. I just went to actually a funeral of one of my real estate idols. And he was 93. And he worked until he was 6 weeks before he passed away. Yeah. And at his funeral, I found out every single day for 60 years, he swam in the ocean in Maine.
Wow.
That means in the wintertime.
That's cold.
And the water's like 45. So he'd use something that Palumbo's using in his swimming pool because the heater's broken.
Yeah.
He'd go out into the ocean in front of his house.
Right.
Go down to the frigid ocean that's 60 feet deep right off the coast, and he'll swim every day. So talk about a cold plunge.
How long would he swim for, though?
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Wow. Let me tell you something. When I get out of that pool and I go into my house and I get into a warm shower because my body's a little chilled, and for 2 hours after that swim, I'm still chilled. I have to put a sweatshirt on, and you know me, I'm always hot. So I can't even imagine what 40 degree. Now they do have dry suits, so I wear a wetsuit, which lets a little water in there, and then it heats up between the suit and the skin. But they have dry suits where you can, where it keeps you super warm. Maybe he was wearing a dry suit. And they have headpieces. You can wear gloves. I don't wear any gloves or feet things, But
all I have to do, Dave, is walk into my family room that I heat because it's too big and too expensive to heat. So I only heat on certain days.
Right.
That's like my cold plunge.
Well, the two people that I know that were big on the cold is one that you told me about was Serge Nubret, right? He believed in the
huge.
He would go outside between sets during the winter to
Paris,
right? So that he would
shiver. Yes, he told me that.
Well, because the cold would make your body have to produce heat, which would burn calories, right?
That's why he said he never did a lick of cardio. The only cardio I think he ever did was going down to the pharmacy to see if his thymus. He'd walk down there to see if his computer.
Yeah, but he also worked out for like 6 hours a day, in the gym too, which burned a lot of calories. And then the other person who's into shivering was Steve Blackman, right? Didn't he have that fat burner? Yeah, I gotta shiver the weight off.
The minute you mentioned Dave, listen, cold plunges, I said, I was going to give you the quiz, but I skipped over it because I knew you'd get it right anyway. Steep left.
Oh, I read your mind. Yeah. Now
Joe asked Jay Cutler. Joe Weider had a product. It was only on the market for like a month. It was called Uniform Heat.
Really? I don't remember that.
And that product had so many thermogenics in it. Your teeth, your hands would shake, and then you'd freeze to death after you heat up.
No, but seriously, I didn't know. When Chris and I first started hanging out, and working for RX Muscle, I didn't know Chris was into a lot of coffee and stimulants. And remember, we were walking in the Arnold Classic, and I never forget, Patrick Arnold had a booth. Now, Patrick Arnold was the chemist who invented the Clear, that undetectable anabolic steroid. Well, this was after he had already gone to jail and gotten out, and he had his own nutrition company, and he came up with the geranium oil, which was, it's bad now, but it was, at the time it was legal. And he had these things called Clear shots, and they were like liquid. And Chris is like, I'll try one of those. I'm like thinking, Chris, those things are pretty strong. He goes, no, I'll try. You were like on cocaine that whole day. You were what
did I say?
You said you never felt anything.
I know exactly, Dave. We went from interviewing the cupcake lady, and then we went over to his booth, and you gave me a shot of that, and I said, 3 minutes. I said, I guarantee this product can end.
It was everyone started using that ingredient. He created it, actually, or he founded it at least, and it was that DMMA.
Nobody's bootlegged it since, or
Well, they made it. Yeah, they made it illegal. I think Aaron and PJ was selling that. That was one of the ingredients in one of their fat burners, or whatever. But that was, Patrick is a genius. That's for sure. Now, I wanted to play this clip. Did you watch the Muhammad Ali clip I sent you?
I did see it. Yeah.
Did you like it?
I laughed. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd seen it before. I'd seen.
Oh, you saw that one before? I didn't know. All right, I gotta play it for people.
Of course, Arnold talking about it.
Yeah, let's see.
Ali was very important. He was fascinated with bodybuilding, even though he didn't want to work out with weights. But he was fascinated by that whole thing. He always had me push him around to his guys. He says, watch this. Watch what Arnold does. He says, push me against the wall. And then I would grab him and then push him against the wall. And then he would say, see, guys, you see what I'm saying, how strong he is? Can you believe that? So he just loved it. And he also, just loved to call me Schwarzenegger. He always just saw a playback on one of the interview shows where an interviewer said,
Schwarzenegger is here. You know him? Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know him?
Schwarzenegger.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You said that.
Next coming out is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he says, yeah, Schwarzenegger. He said, I didn't say that. The interviewer said, I didn't say that. He did it with me also. He would say, this guy, he's one of us guys. Just look at his name, Schwarzenegger. And it's like unbelievable. Muhammad Ali.
Arnold can tell a good story. I'll give him that much. He could tell a very good story. Cedric would have loved that story if he was around.
Oh yeah, of course.
He would have been like, man. He goes,
hey, no, he'd say, Arnold called me the same thing without the Schwartz.
Oh my God. All right. Well, a lot of people have been talking about Nick Walker lately. Obviously we haven't seen him on stage in quite some time. He missed the Olympia in 23. He missed it this past year, pulled out. Yeah. He's not going to be doing the Arnold. He's going to be doing that Pittsburgh and New York. It's kind of going to be a rematch between him and Martin Fitzwater again. A lot of people are questioning. I know Tarek on his show, the Olympia show, was speculating whether he could win the Olympia. He thinks he's going to come back with a vengeance this year and beat a lot of people. What's your take on that? What's your feeling about Nick Walker? He's a big name in our business. Everyone likes to talk and speculate about him, but we haven't seen him in 2 years on stage. So where do you think he's going to wind up? Is he going to have rust? Is he going to be his best? If you had to make a guru prediction, what would it be?
I think the latter part of that sentence you said, we haven't seen him for 2 years, so we don't know what we're going to get.
Right.
It just.
Are we putting too much pressure on this guy?
Yeah.
The fact that he hasn't really, been on the scene?
Yeah, no, he hasn't been on the stage. That's just the way it is. It's like saying, somebody's been out for 2 years and they're coming back. Michael Jordan came back and he wasn't the same Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it took him a year to get back to his
old
form.
Came back. He was not his best when he came back. I mean, of course he regained it, but the competition is not the same as it was 2 years ago either. I think there's just a mix of people. Let's just put it this way: Samson is not this. Who's Mr. Olympia was not the Samson of 2 years ago. In other words, it's the last time. I think was the last time Nick was on the stage was against. He got second. Samson got first. Third place was Andrew at that Arnold. What was it? So it wasn't this past Arnold, but the year before.
Mm-hmm.
He was on stage. It was.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a super dialed Andrew, but he's a lot different now, and Samson, was big at that show, but he wasn't as refined by any stretch of the imagination as he is now, and he's probably bigger now.
So do you think that, I guess the question is, has Nick improved, or are you trying to imply that maybe Nick hasn't improved?
I'm saying the other
guys have,
I mean, I'm just saying exactly what I just said. The other people who were around 2 years ago are better than they were 2 years ago. And then, of course, there's new people who weren't around. I think he'll have his hands full with Good Vito.
Is Good Vito doing the New York Pro and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
So I think
we're going to see Martin there too, and Martin almost beat him last year. A lot of people felt he did beat him.
Martin lost by a point to. I'll tell you how crowded the field is. Martin lost by a point to Nick at the New York Pro, and the week prior, Martin beat Good Vito by a point at the Detroit. So you got like a 2-point spread between those three guys.
Right.
And for sure, probably all three will be better this year. But I'm sure Good Vito will be better this year because he had all that previous year running into that show an injury. Remember when he jumped off the stage?
Yep.
Well, he was out for a long period. He missed a significant part of his, solid training quote season, running into getting ready for, let's say, Detroit.
So I think he's going to be great this year. I'm excited to see him. I wish we would have seen him last year, but
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? We got to see him on stage. I mean, that's quite obvious, but I don't think it's a shoo-in for anyone in Pittsburgh.
We got a little tip, a $5 tip from John Klein, and wants to talk about your sons. I see you posted a picture.
Okay, can we transfer that over to Bitcoin so that next year we can say we got a tip of $500,000. We took that $5 and we put into Bitcoin.
How much does your son weigh here? I know he's down training with Matt Grego and Derek Lunsford in Tampa and Bartley Weaver. They actually invited me. I was going to drive there tomorrow, but I got to be honest with you, I'm too freaking lazy. I don't want to drive the 2
hours. How much is the weigh here? I got to get my calculator out. About 205.
Wow, looks big.
Yeah, he looks somewhat. You know what someone said, which is true. I said, that most muscular looks like Sergio Oliva's.
Yeah. He's starting to look like Sergio Oliva a little bit.
I know.
He should shave his head.
I texted Sergio about that, and I said,
"It was Sergio sneaking in your house." Oh my God, funny.
I'm just glad that my son has good genetics because boy, would I take the heat if he was just terrible.
You wouldn't be putting pictures on your Instagram if he was terrible. So
No, I put up my 11-year-old after that. I said, I got another one in the pipeline. My 11-year-old's got arms and he doesn't even train.
Let's pull him up. Yeah.
I was thinking he'd probably do the T Nationals in 2 years.
They changed the age. He's not going to be able to beat Cody Montgomery's record.
He was trying his best to make that right eyebrow look like Dwayne Johnson.
I was going to say he looks like The Rock a little bit. That's what I thought he was doing there. Yeah.
It's a pretty good arm for 11 years.
Yeah, I would say so. He's got a bicep for sure. It's probably bigger than your bicep right now.
Well, it was funny when Arnold said that Muhammad Ali said he was interested in bodybuilding, but he didn't like to train. I said, I thought Arnold was talking about me.
But you loved to train back in the day. So
back in the day,
yeah,
the day was far, far, far back.
But by the way, I have some advice for Samson Dauda. We were talking about Samson Dauda earlier. He's putting sod down on his lawn. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see it.
All right. In the middle of, first of all, I didn't even know you could put sod down in the middle of January, but he's putting sod down on his lawn. I don't know if a lot of people know, but Larry Bird, he had a bad back, which ended his career early, right? And the way he hurt his back was he was paving his own driveway, because he said it wasn't that he didn't want to spend the money on doing it, but he just enjoyed the process. But he's so anal retentive that he overdid it, and he somehow strained his back, which turned out to be a chronic injury for him in his career and ended his career. So Samson, as my father would say, if you're a bodybuilder, only do bodybuilder stuff. Don't be sodding your lawn. You're gonna hurt yourself. You got a show coming up. But I know he enjoys that. He said it's the real satisfaction working on your home yourself, even in cold January. So looking good, Samson. Look, he's in barbecuing and with the sweatshirt on. Only a bodybuilder in the middle of the winter wears a sweatshirt as their winter jacket. I used to do that all the time too.
Yeah,
we're always so hot. That's why, I never got into barbecuing. Did you get into barbecuing?
No, I use the Foreman grill.
Yeah, I like to cook indoors. I don't like the outdoor aspect of it. I don't know. I don't feel like I can control the flame as well as I can do inside, It's like kind of all or none with the barbecue. Some people love the barbecue though.
Yeah, Jay used to have a barbecue back in Worcester when he was just started, and he was proud that he would shovel off the little patio
to the barbecue, yeah.
He'd go out there and cook his 9,000 chicken breasts.
Yeah, the only good thing about the barbecue, I will say that you could cook a lot of food at one time, whereas when you're doing it at home, you're kind of limited by the size of the pan you're using. So that is a good aspect of it. I know Ronnie liked barbecuing, right? Because Ronnie would use the barbecue sauce and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did he eat like 6,000 grams of protein?
And 6,000 grams of sugar too in the Masterpiece barbecue sauce.
No carbs, Dave.
Back in the day, in the 90s, when Ronnie was doing with the Masterpiece barbecue sauce, people would come to me and I'd see all these guys I'm dieting for shows using Masterpiece barbecue sauce. And I said, what the hell are you doing? They're like, Ronnie uses it. I said, have you ever read the ingredients? It's all sugar.
Yeah, that's why it's so good.
Yeah, well, I said, they're like, yeah, but Ronnie can get away. I said, Ronnie's doing 2.5 hours of cardio a day. He probably doesn't have to do any cardio if he wouldn't eat the Masterpiece barbecue sauce. But I think he's bored. So
I didn't need any cardio at all, including
No, he could have done zero cardio if he wouldn't eat that Masterpiece barbecue.
It might be a detriment to him.
Yeah, it's possible. Well, we got another tip, Chris, and people are really happy today. When will the new live Guru seminar be in 2025? I'm looking at the end of January, maybe beginning of February. I'm gonna plot a date. I'm just trying to figure out what's a good date. I'll let you guys know. Thank you for the tip, by the way. Hope everyone had a good New Year's. Did you do anything for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
We do anything for New Year's Eve? We went to Legoland.
Oh, you did? Oh, you should have told me.
Yeah, we went to Legoland. Yeah, we drove right by Cape Coral.
Yeah, that's a long drive for you from Miami.
I love driving.
Did you stay overnight?
We did. The kids wanted to stay at the Lego Hotel.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun hotel.
We did. I had to visit someone, my wife's really good friend, many years. the next day. So we went to visit them, Dave, and they, you know, remember when the real estate crashed in 09?
Yes.
Okay. I used to get every day, like, I mean, they were giving, I realized they were giving it away. People never realize they're giving it away when they're giving it away.
For sure.
But that's when I bought a couple places in Miami, and they were giving condos away. I can tell you what every single thing sold on Collins Avenue in Miami, because I looked at all. I used to study like, you know how you used to read every inch of Flex magazine and
Yes. Yes.
You first started bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get up, I'd spend like 3-4 hours looking through the foreclosures. So we have friends, they have a nice house. I forget what part of Florida it is. It's maybe like an hour. Oh, it's outside of Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
They bought a house in the foreclosure crisis for $35,000.
What?
And it came with the Cadillac.
They left the car too? That's hysterical.
Left the car.
That's funny.
So they get the car for free. The guy sold the Cadillac for like $7,000. So
oh my God.
So,
that's crazy.
Like he told me, he said, you know, he was living in Maine and he just wanted one place to go.
Right.
He got a foreclosure list and, you know, drove down there. And what do you think the first question is? It's when he saw the house.
I would be like, does the roof prevent the water from coming in?
No, what's wrong with it?
Right.
What's wrong with it? And, you know, he got it inspected and bought it for $35,000. And
wow.
It's astounding that a house would sell. You know, because now people say like, oh, starter home, you know, I mean, someone blah blah blah, you know, $350,000.
Yeah, what is it worth? I was gonna say, what is it worth now? That house?
I think like $280,000.
Wow. Well, he did good on that one. You're probably kicking yourself for not buying more properties at the time.
Well, I didn't. I mean, although you don't know, you know. And on those foreclosures, you got to pay. In those in 09, you have to, you know, you just got to plunk down the cash.
Right, but $35,000 is like a joke.
I in Miami though, you know, I mean, Miami's Miami. It's still kind of expensive.
Right, but you know, Tampa is a good place. I mean, a lot of people want to live in Tampa. It's a very desirable place.
There's not many bad places in the entire state of Florida.
That's true. You're right.
I mean, you can go to the most rural place.
Yeah, even Central Florida is nice, you know.
Yeah, it's nice. That's why we drove through Central Florida. I loved it.
I think that, to be honest with you, I think that Central Florida is going to be like in 10, 15 years from now, that's going to be the new place to go because there's going to be no land left. And so everyone's going to start moving more inward and all those cattle ranches and all that. You know, there's a lot of, if you go through in the middle of the state, you'll see there's tons of cow farms and stuff like that. They're going to start building condo complexes there and shopping malls, and it's inevitable, don't you think?
Dave. In 1995,
yeah.
Jay came down in 95. I drove my boat from Maine to Fort Lauderdale. And when you get to Fort Lauderdale, which is the, you know, boating capital
sure.
of the States, you take, you know, I was looking for a place to park my boat. And it was just like, it's pretty expensive back then. I mean, it's insane now, I'm sure.
You had a very big boat too, so.
Well, it was big for Maine, but tiny for Miami.
Mm.
So we went up the New River. And the New River, just like the Miami River, those two rivers were like sewage plant. They were grotesque.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize
the
that.
The New River is, I think Patrick McDavid lives on the edge of the New River. He lives on the Intracoastal.
But they cleaned that. They must have cleaned it up since then, right?
Oh, well, when you go up the New River, the part closest to the Intracoastal is, you know, astounding and beautiful. And then you get like past Las Olas, and then after that it goes right down into the toilet.
Really? Still, even to this day?
No, then.
Oh.
Okay. And you look to the left, and there was like dump neighborhoods, and you look to the right, dump neighborhoods, and there was a real dump. And I remember my friend, who was beyond brilliant and a real estate mogul. He said, 20 years from now, look left, Chris, look right. This will be all luxury high rises, and let's say 20. He was right on the money. 20 years later, 95, 205, 215. Yeah, 20 years later, everywhere you look to the left and the right is like luxury high rises now.
Yeah,
so the point being is that Central Florida, it's just a matter of time before it fills in from West Coast, Naples, to East Coast, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Hollywood, Bell Harbor, even
the only thing you don't get is you don't get water. You don't get the ocean.
They'll just put fountains up and pools, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Make Vegas look nice.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there was an announcement from Breon Ansley that he is switching over to 212. He's been teasing us for that for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
and
he'll do good. He started at 12.
I know. But what do you think? Good decision?
I think it's a good decision because, with a little more muscle, guy's got a killer physique.
Yeah.
And not really aging. And I think that he's got tremendous. He varies between really good condition and tremendous condition at shows, and I think that a little more size on what he's got. I think he'd be. Let's see. He would be highly competitive in. I don't know which show. Like I can't say right from the beginning.
Well, how does he stack up against like a Keon Pearson? You think?
Well, it's hard to stack up for anyone against Keon Pearson, but
that's who he has to beat, obviously.
Well, he will win a pro show and he'll qualify for the Olympia, and then we'll find he will win a pro show for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
He'll expose people in the back double, and he's got big arms, so his front double will probably beat a lot of people. I don't even know what he looks like in the most muscular,
There's a little comparison someone did of the two of them. They never, obviously that's not them on stage together, but it's a virtual.
Yeah. He's really good.
Sid, I don't think they would give him a special invite. I think if you switch divisions, you have to actually qualify in that division, because I think we went over this once before, that if you're a Mr. Olympia in one division, it doesn't give you the ability to do any divisions, because usually if you're Mr. Olympia in the open division and you want to do the open Mr. Olympia, you can do it anytime. You don't have to qualify. But I think if you're switching divisions, you have to qualify in that division. I believe that's the rule. So it'll be interesting. I don't think anyone's going to beat Keon, but assuming Keon doesn't screw up and come in bad shape. But I think that Breon will be better as a bigger bodybuilder. I think that weight cap was definitely holding him back for sure.
Yeah. Did he? Yeah, he did. He did struggle with the weight, right?
Oh yeah. He was.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, Cormier said that he was having trouble making weight. I think he wanted to do it one more year, but this year coming up is there's no CBum there, so this might have been the wrong year to bow out. But there is a lot of good guys. I mean, between the Wesley Vissers and we have the Urs Kilsinski, we got Ramon. There's a lot of competition in that class. So I think that he figures, I'm probably not going to beat those guys. Maybe because I'm too short. Let me go into the 212 where the guys are the same height as me, essentially. And I think that's probably a good move on his part.
Well, I mean, you're bringing something a little bit different because he's bringing classic lines. He was probably inspired by Bumstead. Like, okay, Chris can do open shows, then I can do 212 shows. I mean, you bring in classic lines into a open bodybuilding show, and they give you a little bit of an advantage because lines and detail can beat size.
Right. No, you're right.
Not always. I mean, it's still judges obviously want to see a lot of times the thickest and biggest guys win to some degree, but I mean, your lines can't carry you all the way, but they do help create the illusion of more size than what's there.
Right. What do you think about this guy, Reagan Grimes, looking very big? Are we going to see him on stage this year?
Yeah, he's competing this year, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the latest. Sid, any word on whether we're going to see this guy on stage? What am I looking at here?
I used to coach Reagan, so Reagan, if you can give me free Celsius, speaking of like
Stimulants,
caffeine and stimulants, Dave,
that's his new baby, right?
my address, but I won't announce it here.
Is that his new baby? Cutie. That sometimes makes it hard to compete. You know that, Chris.
The words. I didn't want to sound negative about kids.
Yeah.
It's kids. I don't even have to kid. It's a
every pound that kid gains is going to be a pound he loses. That's how it works.
Yeah, Reagan's going to lose. Reagan will learn one thing. Oh, there's the Celsius right there. All the free.
Look at that. That's a great picture. I love it.
One thing that Reagan will learn about from his what's he got, a son or a daughter?
Son.
That you need to eat and sleep to grow, because as you know, babies just explode in size by the week, and that's all they do at the beginning, just eat and sleep.
Mm-hmm. First 6 months are the toughest. So if he can get through that, I think he'll be all right. He probably should just wait till the end of the year or maybe till next year, but keep growing. He's improving,
Yeah, no, I mean he's continually improving. He was top. He cracked? He was top 10 in the Olympia a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah. Well, you said from the minute you started working with him, he has the potential to go far. So, what do you think about Logan Franklin?
Logan Paul.
Logan Franklin is 8 weeks out from the Arnold.
Oh, I didn't know he's doing the Arnold.
Yeah, he's looking good. I don't know why this guy doesn't do better than he. I just feel like he never really gets a chance to, or maybe he's not just peaking his body properly. I don't know. I think he's got a great physique, and I think he hasn't nailed it at the right moment, And I know he's very hard on himself, because I've had talks with him after shows and told him, I thought you looked really good, and don't worry about how the judges judge you. Just keep improving.
Yeah, he was in the Olympia, right?
I don't know if he was.
I think he was in the Olympia this year.
Yeah. He looked good. I talked to him in Vegas. Yeah, I was talking to him in Vegas. Yeah.
It was one of those shows again where it was like just so many people that I'm not saying he was misjudged. I'm just saying that there's just so many people, and you get to a point where outside the top 10, like a track, I've said it before, like a track race, where there's people come over the finish line. There's like 8 people all within a foot and a half of each other. There's like placings between 18 and 28th.
Right.
That just, you're really cutting hairs, so to speak.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good in Vegas. Like I said, I thought he should have been a little higher. And I know it's frustrating. I think he's one of these guys that just hasn't arrived yet. He's almost there, and he's making improvements every year. And I think that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
Played 13th. Yeah, he was very disappointed. He definitely didn't deserve to be 13th at that show. I can promise you that.
Well, what place do you think he should have got?
I had him in the top 7, to be honest with you. I had him actually maybe even the top 5, but definitely top 7. I just like his physique. I don't know. I think he's got a rugged physique. He's got a small waist. He's got a lot of muscle. He's got good legs. He's a great poser on stage. I don't know. I think he just has to just maybe bring it a little tighter. That's all. But I don't even think he needed it. I thought he was good at the Olympia. So I'm going to leave it at that. Let's see who else is. Let's see what else is people doing. It's funny. It's a lot of people are like doing updates, photos now, and I like this. This is like the time of the year like where you can speculate, but you really never know what anyone's going to look like on stage. You can make all the predictions in the world. And
update photos is like when you turn on CNBC and the guy comes on and says where NVIDIA is going in the next 6 months. He has no idea.
This Akeem was looking really good. I don't think I've ever seen Akeem stay this lean for this many months in a row ever. You know, it seems like he's been nonstop dieting for the last year, Chris.
Well, yes, since last year's Arnold.
I know. I'm saying this is the longest he's ever dieted this much. He actually looks really good. So maybe it was a good strategy on your guys' part.
To do every show.
Yeah, to do every show. I think he looks better. You know what? And we've said this before. Akeem has trouble eating in the offseason. So if he's always dieting, he probably eats better and he probably gets more protein in, which means he'll probably make more improvements while he's dieting than if he was off season.
Yeah, so, could be.
He's one of those guys. Also, I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if anyone cares, but you know, it's news. Missy Truscott, who won the fitness Olympia, is now switching to figure. So there are some women crossing over in divisions too.
Now the question is, can she go right into the Olympia like Breon?
That's a good question. I'm sure we'll probably see her compete before that anyway, though. So there's like 6,000 figure shows all around. So I don't think she'll have a problem finding a show to qualify. All right, let's see what else I wanted to bring up here. I see Guy Sistanino lately. I've been seeing a lot of training videos with him. He's not making a comeback, is he?
No, he's not making a comeback.
No.
He's making a comeback.
He didn't like. He's been training very hard lately. I've noticed.
Oh, he called me today. I was supposed to call him back. Huh.
Oh.
I'll put it on my list. He'll be up there like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm writing notes, Dave, so dementia doesn't take over.
I gotta get Guy back on the show. I haven't had him on for a while, so get him on there. All right, what else did I want to bring up? Oh, Colin Van Moger's looking good. He posted a picture.
Van Moger. Who? Colin Van Moger is.
Hold on. Let's comment on. Sid pulled up Carlos here. That's not Carlos. Who's that?
De La Rosa.
De La Rosa. Okay, sorry.
That's Carlos. They have similar physiques.
Yes. What do you think?
Big arms, big legs.
Oh, that's Carlos. So he's got both of them. All right, I got confused.
Yeah, it looks great. Big arms, big legs, big delts.
Look, I don't think we have any. There's no doubt that this guy has got the tool set to go all the way. We just have never seen him, pull off the conditioning I think he needs to at the size he's at. When I used to work with him and he was middleweight, he had to make weight. He can get shredded. We know he can get shredded, but I think he needs to bring that level of conditioning in as a pro. He's got enough muscle. Even if he loses a couple pounds of muscle, it doesn't even matter at this point. When he brings in that shrink-wrapped conditioning, which I know he's shooting for this year, it's going to be game over. No one's going to beat this guy. There's not many guys out there that can do it. I think he can go all the way. What do you think?
You mean win the Arnold?
I think he can win the Arnold if he can bring the conditioning he needs. I mean, obviously, I love Samson. I know Samson's probably in a class above him, but I think if he brought the wacky conditioning, shrink wrapped, I think he can beat everyone. I just don't know if he's capable of doing it. What do you think about that statement?
I think that shrink wrapped is a genetic component to shrink wrap. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. But I've seen him very lean before when he was lighter.
Yeah, no, you got a point. When he was a middleweight, and then when he won whatever he won, the USA Nationals.
Yeah.
He was very hard.
Yeah, but he still was not like his best. He's so good structurally that he can be a little bit off and still look amazing. That's the problem.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question, and
he looked great when he lost to Andrew, right, at the Texas.
Yeah, it wasn't, but he lost to Andrew and Hunter,
right?
And at that point, that was Andrew's all-time best, and it was Hunter's all-time best. And Hunter's all-time best to this date.
Sure.
Period. And so you were comparing apples and oranges. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it looked like a younger physique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know, he looked great, but it just looked like, that's why I paused when I said shrink wrap has a genetic component. It might have a timing component too, meaning, you know, some people got to be under the squat rack. You know, they have to have trained longer to be able to create that look of a shrink wrap. Makes sense.
Let's pull up the picture I was talking about a little earlier about
I may be wrong.
Colin Van Moger, looking really good. I'm glad to see that he's back in his full form. This guy is really a miracle. I mean, with all the crap he's gone through, falling, jumping out of a second-story window, tearing his bicep twice, tearing his patella tendon on the rappelling down the side of a mountain. Obviously having a drug issue that he overcame. His brother died. This guy has gone through hell, and it looks like he's doing really well. He looks great, and I think he's
of all those, Dave, the drug issue is the biggest one to overcome. Yeah,
that's probably one of the hardest things to get past. But he had a lot of shit going on in his life, so very impressive. He looks very impressive. I'm glad to see you, Colin, back.
You should interview him. Go through. It'd be a great interview, I'm sure. Go through all the. People like to be inspired by people's trials and tribulations, and the idea of overcoming.
Yeah. It's got a lot of pictures up here. I think that was his brother, right? I don't know where that came from, but anyway, all right.
Grab that, Dave, off my Instagram. That Patrick Moore video.
Oh, okay. Oh, the one you put up here from.
Yeah, I'm gonna work with him again.
Oh, you are. Oh, good.
He has to. What's a Catholic church say? You have to have penance or whatever.
He had to be punished for a few years. You had to give him a break. He looked great. Yeah, this was how many years ago was this? 19?
Oh.
2019 Olympia year. Yeah, when he was 10th.
Listen to my commentary on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed the back shots, Dave. Did you?
Yeah, I think he did the back shots first. It'll replay after.
Now, this was 10th place, first Olympia.
He looked great here.
Yeah, no, I posted because
There's the back shots.
We had it's funny, it reminds me a lot of Matt Grego because he did the 2018 New York Pro, and he was like 12th or 13th, and I told him, all you need to do is add like 6 pounds and you'll be in the Olympia next year, which is exactly what he basically did. He gained maybe 6 or maybe 8 pounds, and he qualified for the Olympia, and his first Olympia was 10th. And Matt Grego was, and I thought Patrick may be like right there, like in the running for that New York Pro. But, when he came on stage, I said, okay, too small.
Yeah.
He looked great, but there were some big.
He looked good alone. He looked good alone. Yeah, he looked good alone. When he stood
in the hotel, alone, you would say for sure, like top 5.
Yeah. He's deceptive because he does look really good alone.
Yeah, and so
Who's that guy?
That's Joe Miko.
Joe Miko. That's Chris Aceto. It's
Joe
Steve Weiner's gym.
Joe Miko. That's at Steve's gym, like in 89 or something.
But it was probably called Bev Francis World Class Gym. It wasn't even didn't even have a name on it.
And I remember the day we drove out there to take those pictures.
Who took those? Bob?
Bob took those pictures.
I was going to say, that looks like Bob's tanning job, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's Bob's perfect tanning job right there.
Yeah.
And, we went out to Bev's, and God, it took forever to get out there from the Bronx.
Yeah, if you hit traffic going over that bridge,
the traffic was like, and I was miserable. I don't even know what was going. I just was so beat tired. I couldn't even move. But I was like, take pictures. You look great. We'll go take them out at Bev's. So I'm like, how far is it? He said, not too far.
Did you? I don't know if you guys are aware. Rick Collins posted this, but on Bev's gym is expanding again. I guess they got more space. That
what are they going to add a second floor?
Well, there was another little. I guess there was. I don't remember what was here. There was another business there. So I think where the leg room is at Bev's.
Yeah.
Like getting expanded. They're getting a whole nother huge section that they're building out. Let me see. Hold on. Look at that. That's a lot of room. That's a lot of space.
Big addition.
And Steve is probably licking his chops because he can put more equipment in now. There's more room now. That's the leg room now. The leg room is amazing to begin with. I love that room. I used to go. I couldn't wait to train legs there. I was like a kid in a candy store. And now they're going to have even more room. I would imagine they're going to just make. I don't know. I haven't talked to Steve, but I'm imagining it's going to be a bigger leg room now rather than changing it to something else. I don't know what he's got in mind there, but should be nice. So congratulations, Big Steve. Sid goes there. So there's a giant tarp at the back of the leg room, which is going to lead to more new room. They're adding a ton of new equipment. Yeah, I'm sure Steve will probably get a whole, who knows, Panada like wing of the gym. I can see him doing that. That's for sure. That'll be fun. That gym is, if you get ever in the New York, Long Island area, you got to stop in there. It's really, I mean, they got some of the best equipment. Steve maintains that gym immaculately, and he rules that gym with an iron fist. No one dare leaves a plate off of anything or a dumbbell on the floor ever. It's impossible.
Did Ed Connors ever get miffed that it's called the East Coast Mecca?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think. I never heard him say anything about making a comment about that. Now everyone's the Middle East Mecca. There's the Southern Mecca. Everyone is grabbing that. But I think that Steve earned that right to call him his gym the East Coast Mecca, because really it is like kind of like Gold's Gym, only the old Gold's Gym Venice, like only on the East Coast, because all the bodybuilders go there to train. If anything, he's more of a Mecca now than Gold's Gym Venice is. That's for sure.
Well, it's got the energy.
Oh, it's all the bodybuilders there.
Funny when that was like my son's only gym experience was in May, and it's like a mortuary. When he went down to Steve's to train with Andrew Jack, well, he went down with me, and I said, Andrew Jack and Steve Weinberger, and he just, my son could not get over the level of just the energy. You know what I mean? I think we went on a Friday night and a Saturday. It was packed.
Right.
And just the people coming and going and going and coming, and just people training hard. People training hard who have no aspiration to compete. And he was just bewildered with that energy, and just that was a big weekend for him, because when a gym has real energy, not manufactured energy, it just lifts you up. You want to train.
Right.
Granted, he got to train with Andrew that weekend, but just the idea that, he could have trained alone and had great workouts simply because, the enthusiasm in the gym. Plus, people were there, and
I'd hang out in that gym all day. I'd bring my food. I would, it was. I didn't want to go home.
Dave, there's still not a lot of gyms where you see bodybuilder after bodybuilder come through the.
And then people make the pilgrimage there just to kind of see Steve too. So.
Then I think the second time, he did come with me another time. That was one time. Then he came again down last year to the New York Pro. Oh,
that's right. You went all the way out to New York to Steve's gym from Jersey. I told you out of your mind. How long did that take you?
What's that?
Didn't you go all the way from Jersey to?
We were stuck. Oh God,
that had to be a nightmare of a trip for you.
And it was insanity. But once you get there, the energy was great, and it was a blast for him, because everyone really competing in the show was there.
Right. A lot of energy there. Yeah.
People were just hanging out.
Yep. All right, I'm going to pull up. I just saw another clip I wanted to show you guys, an Arnold clip.
Another Arnold. Two in one show.
Arnold on the Letterman show.
Oh, sure. Some used them, some didn't use them. It's very hard always to detect. It's just recently that they started coming in with tests, before competitions like other sports.
Now, what do they do exactly?
Well, no one really knows exactly. Some people think it's a mental thing, that psychologically you feel like you're gaining muscular size and strength. Other people think that it actually, in fact, does put on muscle size for a short period of time. But the idea of it is really bad, because it's a drug, and we want to, as the sport itself says, bodybuilding, we want to build the body, we want to build the health and not destroy it. And that's what drugs do. So now there are strict guidelines, and they try to really get rid of the drugs in the sport.
Did you ever use them yourself?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And did you feel, obviously you felt that they were providing you with results?
At a certain time, I mean, I felt the years that I haven't taken it, and some competitions that I have taken it almost was the same thing. So I really didn't feel that it does anything for the body. It was more a psychological thing. But you've been on there for 2 months yourself. So what do you feel?
But so what you're saying is the positive effect may be psychological.
It's psychological,
but the negative effect is certainly not psychological.
No, it's
debilitating.
It can be harmful to the body, especially like in any drugs, if you're taking excessive amount and so. But they're trying to get rid of it completely.
Yeah.
Letterman grilling Arnold. Holy mackerel.
Sounds a little woke there, Dave.
Yeah. Well, that was back then when you had to deny it. I'm surprised. Arnold, the smartest thing he ever did was say, yes, I used him. Because you know what? If he would have said no, it would have backfired on him. As soon as he said he used him, then there's nothing you can say to him after that, right? What is Letterman going to say at that point?
Well, the idea that, there's just a placebo effect.
Well, back in I remember reading in 1980, the American College of Sports Medicine said that anabolic steroids do not build muscle. That was their stance. They did not build muscle. They said they thought it was a psychological thing. They did not say they said there was no evidence to prove that anabolic steroids build muscle, which is ludicrous, of course. But that was the stance they had for many years.
That's why I think they faked the moon landing.
That's why Chris doesn't believe we went to the moon. Yeah, I saw an interview with Buzz Aldrin where this guy comes up to him and he says, "Look, here's a Bible." He goes, "Do me a favor. If you went to the moon, put your hand on the Bible and swear on this Bible that you went to the moon." And he wouldn't do it. He's like, "It's probably a fake Bible." Buzz Aldrin said. It bothers me that there could potentially be the biggest cover up of all time. So,
maybe that's why they killed Kennedy. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they should send Arnold to the moon.
Want to know what happened?
Did they send William Shatner into space?
No, both my parents.
Right?
I think they sent they sent Arnold in what was it, Running Man?
No, he went to the moon in Running Man. I don't remember.
One of the movies I think he did.
It was looking really good. I saw another video. Sadiq Hadzovic looks really good. I don't know if he's planning on competing.
Yeah, I think he's doing is he doing bodybuilding? I think, or
I got to look at his thing. Hold on, he looks really good here though. Now taking on. Oh, he's trying to advertise his contest prep coaching, but he looks good. It's best he's looked, I think. If that's recent, I don't know if it's recent.
Weston.
Didn't you work with him for a little bit?
Yeah, from First Classic OLYMPIA.
Oh, right.
He was third, who I prepped, and second was.
Oh, that's right. What's his name? From Bev.
From Bev's gym.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I saw him at the Olympia. Great guy.
Yeah, I have a. Arash Rabar.
Rush.
Let's pull up. Derek is looking really good. 8 weeks out. You have any insights you want to add to the Derek? How Derek looks?
Freed trained with him the last couple of days, him and Matt, and said he looks good.
Yeah. It's big. Definitely got his size back, right? Those legs came back.
Yeah.
Which tells me that he must have over dieted those legs off because they look enormous here. What do you think he's weighing right here?
He looks about 250, 47.
What does he normally compete at? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Is he like 230?
36, 238? I don't
He's that high? Okay.
I don't know.
Looks good. How much do you think he's got to lose at this point? 15? 8? Oh, you don't think less than 10, you think?
You think he's got 15 pounds of body fat?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't see him with a shirt. You know, probably has about 10, maybe 8 to 10. I think, yeah.
Because Freed, he sent me like there's an Instagram where he flexes his abs. Him and Grego. They both.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's on Grego's page. Let me see.
Grego, no, it's on. Check it out. It's on.
It's on Derek's page.
I think so.
Oh. That
way you can see Grego, who's doing the Arnold.
Grego, I think, made some really good improvements. I was going to tell you that. I was looking at his pictures. This kid keeps getting bigger and bigger. But you told me,
look at him in the most muscular next to Derek. He looks like he's a. I told you, yeah.
It's on Grego's page. You said?
No, I think it's on. That's it. It's either they're both hitting ab shots.
Sid, see if you can find it for me.
It's either on Grego's Instagram or.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, Sid got it. Oh, I could have done the same thing, Sid. I didn't see it on there. Yeah, I don't know. It's not on Derek's page. No, I was looking. I even looked on Grego's page. I don't see it.
You don't see it? It's up there.
Was it in the stories or was it in like?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, it would have been a post.
I see Cormier posing with Grego. He's out there too, right?
Cormier, I think, is going down to.
No, he's out there. He got there today, I think. That's what they told me.
Wait till Sergio gave me this T-shirt of Chris Cormier. It's a T-shirt that Cormier made of Chris Cormier. He gave it, and Chris is like headed to the gym with a bandana on and a tank top, and he's got like a Gucci bag, I think, on his shoulder. Anyways, so
the Dennis Rodman of bodybuilding, yeah.
Sergio gave me that T-shirt in 2016 or 17. And I liked it so much. Of course, I never wanted to wear it, so I put it away.
Don't tell me your son has it now.
Yeah, so I was going packing for Miami, and I was like looking for like T-shirts to wear in Miami, and I pulled that out, and I said to my son, "Oh, you can have this shirt." He loved it. Put it on. So I gave it to him, and he really liked it. He put it on, and he said, "I'm gonna wear it when I'm down in Florida." And when he went down there, I just heard that Cormier was headed down. So Cormier texted that he's going down to Florida, and he didn't know my son was there. He was going to train with Grego. And
see, that's why I was going to go down there, because I wanted to see Chris, but I was like, I just got too lazy.
So my son's going to wear the T-shirt when is this like recent? This is today? Well,
it must be. He must have just gotten there. This is from this past week. No, Cormier just was getting there supposedly today, so this must be from today then.
Okay.
Unless it's old. I don't know. This could be old. This could be something.
So keep maybe my son pops up.
Chris flies back and forth across coast more than anyone I know.
So Cormier, the bottom line is, but my son's gonna surprise Cormier, and Cormier's gonna die when he's gonna say, "Where'd you get that T-shirt from?"
Right. Now, people in the comments are insinuating that you're coaching Derek. Is that true or not? Or
well, they can insinuate all they want.
Okay.
You have to make a donation to make a comment. That's
There you go. That's Chris's official word. Cormier is training him in the gym, though. That's good. It sounds like that. I like when Chris trains guys because he has really good insight on how to, improve weaknesses because he has a very good eye. I really do. I say it with a joke, but Chris Cormier really is the Dennis Rodman of bodybuilding because he was when he was competing, he was always doing flamboyant things, and partying and all that stuff. But he also, if anyone knows anything about Dennis Rodman, he's got one of the best eyes in basketball. He would be able to see. He knew how many times the balls would spin when guys would shoot the ball. He was one of the best defensive players of all time, and I think Chris is like that in bodybuilding. He's got such a good eye to see how people make mistakes when they train, how they make mistakes when they pose. People don't give Chris enough credit. He's really a student of the sport for sure.
Yeah, no, he is for sure. I talk to Cormier twice a week.
Yeah.
All the time.
Cormier saying that Derek will win. I think that Derek will win the Arnold. I really do. I don't think we saw the best Derek at the Olympia. And I think if we had seen the best Derek at the Olympia, he would have won. He would have beat Samson. So I think the only reason Samson won, not that Samson didn't look his best, but that Derek was off. And really that's that was shame on Derek for that. So now he's going to bring a different look back to the Arnold, and I think that's going to make the show even better. That's why I think there's really no clear-cut winner. Yes, Samson's the Olympia champ, but Derek's an Olympia champ also in this lineup, and you can't forget that. And obviously, there's a lot of other guys that could come in there and do some damage. But obviously, Samson and Derek are the two highest-ranking guys.
The right color down, Dave.
What?
Got to get the right color apple down.
Yeah, the right color.
Well, how about how about a shrink-wrapped Carlos versus Derek?
I don't know. I'd like to see it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Now, Derek at his best, I think, beats Carlos, but I think that Carlos definitely pushes him hard because he's got smaller waist. He's got, a lot of bells and whistles too, but I don't think we know that Derek can get shredded. We haven't seen that level of conditioning from behind on Carlos. I think that's where Carlos has to really shock a lot of people and bring that in because we haven't seen that from him yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, it was a good show. First show of 2025. And we're getting closer and closer to the Arnold, which is exciting. I got to start booking trips and getting press passes for us. I feel like we're at the Arnold the other day. We're going back.
Olympia or something.
Well, I feel like we just went to the Arnold. I don't know why. The Arnold, if you remember last year in Columbus, it was very warm last year. The day I left on Sunday, it was like 65 degrees, which is usually it's 20 degrees in Columbus. So I don't know if we're going to get unseasonably high weather again or high temperatures again this year, but that definitely stuck out in my mind. And I'm looking forward to seeing that in the start of the season. But we got 8 weeks still to go. So there's plenty of time for drama and new storylines to develop, which I'm sure they will. As we say every week here with Heavy Muscle Radio, Chris.
The truth hurts.
We'll see you guys back again next week. And if you guys have any ideas on shows and concepts you'd like to see us do, I am open for it anytime. Send it our way. See you next week.